convention, and we are so glad to have some friends with us. They're off camera. Trust me, there's actually people here. Here, everybody applaud.
Thousands of people.
That's fun, huh? So I'm Chris. I'm the producer of the Wingfeather Saga animated series, and Andrew is the author and executive producer as well. And we are so glad to be with you today. We have some really cool stuff to show you, and we're going to show you at home. Don't worry about it. And then these people here get to see it as well. And it's going to be fun. But we wanted to kind of bring you up to speed with where we are. So for a lot of you, we've been quiet. So Andrew has been asking me about this, but from roughly July through February, just been hard at work. Pre-production has taken a lot to get all the kind of plans in motion for season 1 of this animated series, and now we're ready to start sharing stuff. And
yay!
So,
I keep bugging him. I want to post stuff online because we keep seeing like every day some new cool piece of artwork or image, and I'm just like, when can we show? So
now it's
yes.
The floodgates
now we can show
open.
things.
So where you're going to see this the most is if you follow us on our Wingfeather Saga official fan club group on Facebook, and then on YouTube. Those are the two spaces. And one of those things we shared recently was a trip to the Czech Republic that me and Keith Lango, our CG supervisor, got to make to hang out with some of our animators and artists who live in the Czech Republic and surrounding. And that was right on the heels of the invasion of Ukraine. So it was a pretty intense time. And yeah, so we're kind of still taking that in. Mm-hmm. One of the things we found when we were there was that those artists understood our story in a different way, right? Because this is a story of a people living under oppression, occupation by the Fangs of Dang, and our friends in Czech Republic are like, oh yeah, like just had that happen to us. And it was pretty profound. They're thrilled to be working on the project. We had the pleasure this morning of doing a screening of this thing we're going to show you with our cast and crew, and it was really cool. It was a really emotional time. Yeah,
it was very emotional. I had watched it like 7 times already, but then watching it this morning with the whole team all over the world, 30 or 40 people, broke me. I was just so proud of everybody, cool. All their work. Yeah, I was very emotional.
Yeah. So now we get to share it with everybody else and show you what we've been working on. And we've got a couple things. First off, we are in production on season 1. People keep asking, so when do we see season 1? Where is season 1? We're going to talk about that in a little bit when we expect to have season 1 available. But I want to say this. We really want to bring season 2 right behind. We don't want to wait a long time and start pre-production of season 2 after season 1's over.
Well, really, we just don't want your kids to be in college before season 2 comes out.
That's right. Unless your kids are in college, and that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
They can still be.
I hadn't thought about that.
Doctors, lawyers, that kind of thing. Anyways, so we plan to tell the whole Wingfeather Saga story, which is right at 7 seasons that we've mapped out, which is super exciting. We're in season 1. We've opened a test the waters, and basically what we're saying is, hey, we're going to go out and possibly do some fundraising for season 2 before season 1 is out, so that we can start that and not have season 2 take too long. That makes sense? So if you'll go check it out on the Angel Invest page, so look at invest.angel.com/wingfeather, you'll see, there it is on the screen, you'll see a really cool link to go pledge if you want to participate and get in line, basically, to help us with season 2. That will hopefully go live later this year, but wanted just to kind of draw your attention to it. It's going to be important. We've gotten to know and connect with some really fantastic artists. Some you're going to get to talk to today, and we'd love to keep them working.
Yeah. We don't want to lose them.
No, it's a competitive market in animation right now, and so finding people, the people we found are just deeply connected to what we're getting to do here, which is really cool. It's not just another TV show. It's something pretty special. So yeah, there's that.
Yep.
Okay, with that said, let's go ahead and talk about the first look of imagery. So a lot of people have seen the short film and may even seen the posters. We've had those around. You guys all seen that kind of stuff. So it was time for a fresh look, right? Time for something that people haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. And so Garrett Taylor, our art director, really took this upon himself, and he's like, I got you. And he pulled up and helped design our first poster. And then our friend Vivian over at Angel Studios helped bring the finishing touches to it. And we've showed it here at the booth here at NRB. And now we want to show it to you all. So I think we have that, Esther. Let's see. Should have a poster. There it is. Okay, so this is really cool. I'm going to show it to the folks here. So this is our first poster. They've all been seeing this because this is kind of all around the place. You at home are actually seeing something that you guys aren't seeing. Sorry. We made a really cool motion version. So it's actually raining in their version of the poster, and like there's smoke, and it's pretty cool. So you guys have to watch a live stream later too. Our friend John, who helps us produce all this live stream stuff, and he's right over here. Hey, John. Brought this to life for us, and it is so cool. This image means a lot. Tell us about this is a bookending image, right, in season 1.
It's a book beginning image. I think it conveys a lot of the heart of the story, which is you've got a family in a home, and there's light when that family is all together. And you can see the dragon kind of looping around above the top as a little hint of the danger that they're in. And I think family is one of the big focuses of the whole story. I wanted to tell a story where there was a family that worked best when they were together. And I think that image gets at it. There's nothing really more cozy to me than a cottage with light coming out of the windows in a rainstorm. So that's what we're kind of going for there.
Yeah, and I think that the other is this is a family that is better together. A lot of stories of our kind where it's a child protagonist, kids are better if they can get their parents to the curb. Mm-hmm. And you don't understand me, you're holding me back.
Or it's just easier to tell a story if there's not a parent there to get the kid out of trouble every 5 minutes.
Sure.
So it's like there's a lot of good reasons why a lot of orphan stories exist in fiction, kids fiction, but it made it harder to tell this story where I was like, no, this is going to be a story where the kids and the parents are actually on the same team, and we're all fighting together. And if a kid shows up and tells the parent something crazy happened, rather than going, get out of here, kid, go play in the yard, that the parent actually listens and cares about what's going on, and which I don't see a lot of in movies. I'm always kind of like, well, in our house, if my kid came in and said, I just saw a cow with fangs in the woods, I would ask him what was going on and go investigate. I wouldn't brush it aside. So that's part of the heart behind this thing.
I think we talked about this too, that movies like The Incredibles obviously do this really well, where the family clearly love each other and they actually like each other. So you say a lot. That's a lot of our experience. Now we have our problems, right?
Sure.
But there's this camaraderie. So anyways, this season 1 thematically is really about a family coming together, discovering their identity, who they really are as a family, against some terrible evil. And so this nasty storm and a home that's glowing in that is really lovely. The other end of that image, if you've read the books, I think you know what the other end of that image is, and we'll show that later. Okay, moving on. So thank you, Garrett. Great job. We're so thrilled with how that thing turned out. All right. Now, it's time to show some things. I think it's time to show some things.
Yay!
So we have been hard at work, and we wanted to take this opportunity. There's a couple milestones up in front that we wanted to take an opportunity to show you a little bit of what we're working on. And when I say that, I mean it's a little bit. We are literally just started animating right at the beginning of February. And a lot of that is the beginning cycles of like, what does Janner look like when he runs? What does Lily, how does she walk with her crutch? Like some of these questions, and so there's a lot of work. We're just now starting to turn out footage that's actually part of episode 1. And so Keith Lango, who you'll get to talk to in a minute, has been integral in helping us to get this to you in this time. Don't worry, it's just teaser. Later we'll have a full trailer as we get closer to summer that has more stuff in it. But we're super excited to bring this one to you. So,
man.
Without further ado,
I will just say that what you're about to see, even though it's not a ton of footage, represents a mountain of work and a whole bunch of amazing, talented people pouring themselves into this thing. So it is like emotional for me to even see this happen. And knowing now that Chris was just like, just so you know, this is going to keep happening from this point out. We're going to see more and more animation as we go. Makes me giddy.
It's
so
like
excited.
If you've ever done construction and takes forever and ever and ever as they prep and all the plans. and then they do the framing, and it's like,
And you're like, oh, there's a house. Yeah,
That's what we're into right now.
totally. Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming to life. Okay,
Here we go.
Said, you ready to count this thing down? All right, so
We're
I'm going to
counting
press
it down?
play here for these guys at the same time that the people on the stream get to see it too.
Okay.
So that way it's, we're not going
Yeah.
woo at the same time. Makes sense in my brain. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do this
Ready,
in,
set, bake.
how about we do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I really was wanting to put something in the world that the grown-up gets as much out of it as the kids do, more, arguably. I really believe that something special happened with this story. We could not believe how many people jumped on board to help us bring this thing to the screen.
It is the most amazing thing to be in a position now where we can bring this to the screen.
It's whimsical and it's fun, but it's also got a lot of heart. My goal is to make you cry as much as you laugh.
Can't just run off. They've got a pop rocket! Really? When you ran off, I had to leave Lily alone. Lily? Lily?
He's a bucket of feathers.
Hi, Clark, and the black carriage is here.
All right. Thanks very much. So fun.
I can
So
freely
fun.
at our own trailer because I'm so proud of all the great work that all of our friends are putting into this. Man,
It's super satisfying. Man, that shot of the Fang at the very end when he kind of like, growls a little bit, it tells you, oh man, we're in for a ride.
how many of you have seen our short film from back in 2017? Okay, and those of you online, you can raise your hand too. Weird, but yeah, so it's a little different now. We've had some time. We're super excited. We'll tell you a lot more about the animation technology in a minute, but we wanted to bring in Garrett and Keith. Garrett is our art director, and Keith, our animation CG supervisor. They're going to join us, I think. Here they are. What's up, fellas?
Hey, hey.
Hey, guys. I love it. Garrett's outside. Keith's wearing a cardigan. Uh-oh, I can't hear Keith.
We
Garrett,
can't hear you, Keith.
No, I have it on.
There he is.
Yeah,
Okay.
there he is.
Hey, man. Keith, congratulations, man. That is some great
Thank
looking
you.
footage. You stayed up a lot this week helping us to get those shots out. Tell us a little bit about what you had to pull together to make this happen.
Oh, well, basically just trying to gather up the great efforts by everybody else and put them together into something that was cohesive. That's always been the big deal with this. And I was mentioning it today to somebody. I says it's easy to make a delicious meal with ingredients this good. So this really speaks well to the animators, the artists, the designers, the background painters, Garrett's leadership and art direction. Really, I'm just the guy sticking it all together. So. But I did have to pull together a few late notes.
There's been rigs, there's been textures, there's been so many things, and we're using a brand new proprietary system that is super cool. If you guys are at all familiar with game engines, we are using a game engine to accelerate what we're doing. We'll tell you more about that later, but it's really cool stuff. And then Garrett, our art director here, you have been hard at work commanding this team of artists to paint all the environments. So for those who don't know, the characters are CG and are animated, and the environments are all painted backgrounds that are in the space. So tell us a little bit about some of the work you've been directing those folks to.
Yeah, it's been just a mountain of artwork being produced, and what you guys just saw on that trailer is just 1/100th of what is going to need to be produced for the film. And we've assembled a great team of background painters from all over the world, at varying stages of their careers, and we've just been kind of learning together at creating this style and how to best create a unity there, and to just make a world that feels believable and feels like we want to explore it. And I feel like what we just saw, and all of us just saw this thing like yesterday for the first time. So it's really encouraging just to see how it all comes together, how all those layers fit. Because, like Andrew said, there's just a huge crew of people that need to work really hard to get to that point. There's just so much preliminary design and technical rigging and just programming stuff that needs to happen to be able to get a moving picture like we just saw. So it's exciting.
And Garrett, talk about some of the inspiration that you've drawn from. I think folks here and online are probably seeing architectural inspiration. Talk about where you wanted this show to feel like it was living. You and I have talked quite a lot about this, but what's the inspiration? Is this early Americana? Is it somewhere in Europe? Like, what does some of that look like?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of a mashup, and it was something that we arrived at based on conversations with Andrew and just looking at reference. But it's kind of a mashup of the American Western town where things were built out of wood and thrown up, in a somewhat quick manner, and then anchored with more of a European age. Like, so there's stonework and there's some just interesting window trim and chimneys and stuff. So it's kind of a combo of European and 1800s, which is a cool feel.
And we showed this on one of our previous live streams, and some of you guys saw it, but where a lot of folks have been reminded of old Disney 2D, the old glass plate stuff, where you see a lot of glass plates to get a sense of depth and parallax and so forth. We're using a lot of the same techniques where the artists are painting in lots of layers, and so our characters can be in these 2D environments, but because of all that layering, you kind of believe that they're immersed in it. They're not sitting on top of it. One of the challenges when you have CG, which is like model clay, on a painting, is it stands out, and you can feel like it's not really attached. In our case, Keith has been working up just some amazing recipes. Keith had talked about it this morning with some friends, but Keith and I first worked together back in 2006 on a very similar type of approach to take CG to make it look like 2D, make it look handcrafted, get away from the kind of sanitized look of the computer rendering and make it feel like something an artist put his hand to. And we're seeing that now, Keith, and I know we're both like super excited about it.
Look how excited he is.
Great to see it come to life.
So excited.
No, I'm just.
No, I know. I love it. An excited Keith is a good thing.
Yeah, it's fun to see. It's the biggest fight has been trying to get the CG characters to feel like they're a part of the painting, like Chris was saying. And there's just endless nights and hours and days and months and years of just tweaking this recipe to get it. So when you hit pause, that's my test. Like, when I hit pause at any one moment, does it look like a painting? And what we worked up together this week, and when it all finally came together, and a couple little last minute tweaks to the shading system, and a couple of last minute tweaks to some textures, and it was like, boom, there it is. It's like, oh, this works, great.
Totally.
Because up till now, it was like,
that was my first thought when I saw it the first time. I was like, I can't, because we'd been seeing like just the characters, in isolation from the actual backgrounds, and I was unprepared for how well they would live in the same space. It was amazing.
Yeah, you were a little nervous. I'll admit. Yeah.
We have a lot of hurdles in front of us. This was obviously our first big test to see some footage and to get it out there. And we've got 6 half-hour episodes of animation to make, and we just showed you a little less than a minute. So we got a lot ahead of us, and this is just the very beginning. Keith and Garrett, I know we've got a lot in front of us too. Thank you so much for your dedication to help make this happen.
Yes.
Yeah, and thanks for pushing to help make this thing happen here today.
Y'all are amazing.
That's cool.
It's awesome. All right, so we have a trailer, and this thing's going to be available out there in the world just after we finish here, and we would love your help to share it. So we all know that there's algorithms in the world, right? And so you think you're telling people, and we did this during like announcing this show, like everybody we feel like we've talked to should have heard by now, and then you realize there's these people that haven't. So how you can help, go find this trailer on YouTube. It'll be available in just a minute, and watch it all the way through. If you stop short, people will go, oh, it's not very good. Yeah, so go find it out there. It'll be there in just a minute. Watch it through, and then share it to your friends, however that is. Text it, whatever you'd want to do on your social media, whatever, and tell them about our series. We're excited to really work over the course of this year to get more fans excited about what we're going to release late this year. When is that exactly, Andrew? Christmas-ish. So here's the deal. What we're saying on all of our materials is winter. Winter's nice. Although some fans were like, isn't it kind of still winter? Like, no, it's not that. Like, it could happen tomorrow. No, it's not. But we're saying winter. So just after Christmas is our hope to have the first couple episodes, and then do some week-by-week releasing as we go through January. We really want to make it a family experience that we can have a lot of fun with, chapter by chapter. We're not going to just drop it all out there at once, just right away. And then hopefully we can come right behind with Season 2. The hope is by the end of next year, Season 2 is actually out there as well. So wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
So if you want to learn more about Season 2, go check it out on the Angel Invest site. And there's some information on our pledging. It's basically getting a ticket and saying, hey, yeah, I'd love to be a part of Season 2. Love to kind of be an investor. It's a limited number of shares each time we offer this, and when we sell out, it's all gone. And so if you think you want to be a part of that, we'd love to have you join us. We're so happy to have some of our investors that have been a part of this time with us at NRB, which is cool. Man, this has been a blast. We are, just to be clear where we are right now. So animation for episode 1 is well underway. Lots of cool stuff coming out there. The animatics, that's where we do all the storyboarding, are through episode 2. Episode 3 is about to be reviewed. And then episode 4 will launch into animatics. That's kind of where we are in our cycle. Animation takes a long time, and it's beef.
As it turns out, animation takes a long time. Look how I'm gray now. I've got gray hair.
One of the cool stories out of this, too, has been who we've gotten to be a part of this journey with, which includes your boy.
Oh, yeah. So my son, Aiden, who was the inspiration for Janner, Igiby, the older boy, I taught him how to draw when he was like 10, maybe younger. And in like a week, he was better at drawing than I was. And I was a kid who drew a lot. Like I interviewed at an art school, and he surpassed me when he was like 10 years old. And it's been so cool to watch him. He graduated high school, got an art scholarship to Lipscomb University, graduated last year from the animation program, and got hired to work on the Wingfeather Saga. So he's actually on the animation team on the book that he grew up with his dad reading to him. Isn't that a crazy thing? And the cool thing is he's actually legit. He actually did the background right there, I'm pretty sure. So he's like, there's no, what is it called when you hire, nepotism. This isn't nepotism, you guys. This is straight up talent. It really is. He's amazing. So it's been cool to have him work on it. And my daughter-in-law and lots of friends.
Yeah, there, man. It's cool. Speaking of nepotism, some of you know that 2 of my kids were the voices of Lily and Tink in the short film.
Yeah.
And they're great. They've unfortunately gotten older, and their voices don't sound the same. So we've been involved in a big casting effort. We were shocked. So we put out a public casting offer for our fans and had over 7,000 people submit auditions to be a part of our casting. We don't have a cast of 7,000, so that's not going to work out that way. But we're so excited. We've cast, obviously, you probably just heard a few of our characters have been cast, but we are still casting for other characters. So more news to come on that, hopefully within the month. I think by beginning of April, we should have the rest of our cast ready to start announcing and sharing as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah, it's been fun listening to these voices and hearing them and going and just imagining in our heads what they actually sound like for real.
Yeah.
One of those being, what do the fangs of Dang actually sound like? You heard a couple of their voices just now. That was actually Brack and Slarb, who have been performed by a couple of brilliant actors. And we look forward to sharing more of those with you too. The other piece we haven't talked about, so making animation is a multifaceted effort, which includes casting and storyboarding and designing and all these pieces. One of those that's underway as well is music. We are so excited. So Arcadian Wild is back with us for season 1. Some of you know their music, and they are deep in it. Kurt Heineke, who worked with us on season 1, is also back. And we have a new addition to that team.
Ben Shive. So the
Ben
guy,
Shive.
yeah, if you don't know Ben, he's the guy that produced most of my albums over the years. He and I co-wrote Is He Worthy together. He's one of the most talented people I know. And so he is, like, in my mind, rounded out the team perfectly. Like, he's like another part of my own brain. We share part of, like, our brains are so similar. Our music taste is so similar that I was like, as soon as he joined the team, I knew the music was going to be something that at least I would like. And hopefully everybody would.
When we talk about the team, you keep hearing us say that. So our team now, I think, is right at 60 people. About 20 full-timers and then 40 that are freelancing contract. It's a lot of people. So music was one of those areas that neither myself nor Andrew could keep up with in every bit of its minutia. And we're so thrilled that Ben was willing to step in and produce, right? And kind of be a representative of us to go do that.
Yeah.
And that's really been a lot of this season, is finding the right people that can do what we're doing in their own explicit ways. Does that make sense? Because we can't spread so thin. I've tried. It doesn't work out very well. It's been really cool watching all these team members come to our team and be so excited about our project. So, it's great.
Awesome.
Great job to the crew. Thanks
everybody.
Doing all you're doing. I think that's about it. So in just a minute, it's going to go live out there on YouTube, and I'd love for you guys to share that, and we'll have more coming. Sometime in late spring, early summer will be our next big trailer that we'll share with everybody. So in the meantime, hop out there on our Facebook group, like I said, the Wingfeather Official, and we've got some behind the scenes from the Czech Republic and from some of our writing sessions and just other cool stuff that we're going to be sharing pretty regularly, a couple times a week, new material going out there. So if you want the latest there, that's the best place to find it. We'll probably end up putting some of that stuff out on YouTube as well, for those of you that aren't on socials, and that's fine. Good things.
Cool.
Whew. Man, thanks for joining us today. Thank you all for sitting here and joining us. So great. Glad to have you. And we'll say goodbye from NRB, and we'll talk to you again very soon.